Offices of the Ministry of Education here in Belize City, and we wanted to make a joint public statement this morning having to do with the upcoming Belize City Council 10th Day Bram. As you may know, I chair the September Celebrations Committee, and some time ago in those discussions in the committee's meeting, we made it plain that we were not in a position to do the usual amount that we honored last year. And that came primarily because we did not receive the funds as we had anticipated. Folks will remember that last year we had a contribution, I think, of 100,000 from our friends in Taiwan towards the activities of Niche and the September celebrations, and this year that amount was cut to 75,000. And as a result of that, we had to look at specific areas of the celebrations expenses, the budget submitted, and we made those decisions. As a result of that, the Belize City Council received a cut, I think, from 75,000, which they received in the previous year, to 60,000. And subsequent to that, the council announced that it would not be able to do the 10th Bram. And we feel that that is unfortunate. We felt that that was unfortunate, and the mayor reached out to me, and I decided that we ought to sit down indeed and try to work it out. I think the news of the cancellation of the 10th Bram didn't go over well with the Belize City residents, especially. It is something that residents of the city have become accustomed to after being a part of the parade, even if only on the sidelines. People want to go somewhere and do something in terms of the celebration after the parade and after the official ceremonies. And so the mayor and I and the Deputy Mayor Arnold, met in a brief meeting yesterday afternoon, where we agreed that the council will go forward and that the government of Belize will try to find the additional funds of $10,000 to ensure that the Bram is bigger and better than ever. And so we're pleased to make that announcement this morning jointly, and we look forward to having wonderful 10th day celebrations, Wagner St. George's Key Day celebrations, and that is ceremony, parade, and the Bram.
Okay, so we have some more.
Yeah, again, I want to also expound on what the Deputy Prime Minister said. I reached out to him following the announcement that we weren't going to have the event, and subsequent residents giving their views on the matter. And I said we had to see how we could, as a council, reach out to the Deputy Prime Minister, given that he's the head of the Celebrations Committee. And he was gracious enough to say, listen, Mayor, let's meet. And we felt the mere fact that he gave us that room to meet was something huge. And yesterday we met at his office, and we were able to work out those finer details. It was never a matter of us not wanting to have the Bram. It was always a financial matter, being about financial prudence. And so when the Deputy Prime Minister told us, listen, we'll come up with the 2/3, and we'll be able to cough up 1/3 of the cost. And at the end of the day, the residents of the city benefit. And this display of leadership from both ends, in my mind, is a greater taking away out of this situation.
So I just trying to straighten out the amounts. You said you all are putting 10,000, Mr. Deputy?
Well, you will understand that the way it works is that the various different municipalities put forward their budget to the committee. And so when it is that we approve an amount, it is not for any particular event. The Belize City Council would have received 60,000 when we looked at what was there in terms of what is given for the subvention for the National September Celebrations Committee, which is about $500,000, I think a little bit more. And then we add to that what Taiwan contributes. Well, when we received those contributions along with what the government inputted, it was not what it was last year, and so we were forced to try to make cuts. And that situation has not changed. But when we listened to what the council had to say, and I understand that in these times it's difficult to pull off, it's becoming more and more expensive to put off these events. It is a money-making venture because there is a charge to enter whatever venue it is, I'm certain. But still, you need some startup money and some investment money. And so we looked at that, and we are going to have our people work out those details, but we are prepared to, and it doesn't come from the September Celebrations Committee's money. They are saying that they don't have that money, and I simply say they because while I am chair, I have a co-chair that really meets on a daily basis. So if people are wondering, well, how is it that you did not weren't a part of this from the beginning? It's because I don't sit on the body directly. I have a co-chair who deals with it, and so that position was derived, and the position was made known. And it was only when I saw it playing out on the media, and of course the mayor reaching out to me, that I said, okay, well, let's make a decision here. And I approached the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, and the Cabinet on it on Tuesday, and they agreed that we ought to go forth in a spirit of unity with the Council, and that if we need that money from the Ministry of Finance, that it would be forthcoming in order to save the tent and the BRAM. So that is where we're at. It is unfortunate that there might have been some indication that it was political, but as I've always said to the mayor and the deputy mayor who sits on behalf of the council on the committee, that kind of thing for me does not exist. I'm about, and the mayor has assured me, the deputy mayor likewise has said the same. We're not about playing that kind of politics when it comes to the residents of the city. The elections are over. This is a time to work together, and where it is that we have to politics, let's save that for down the road, and right now let's be about serving the people.
Okay, and then Mayor, would you speak on the fact that on two things actually. First, that well, being as it's a PUP council, you all are we're only too happy to say slice that from the schedule, because we know the PUP is a part of the 21st and UDP is a part of the 10th. Those of us who grew up in the 70s will be very familiar with those sentiments. Would you first speak on that? And second, speak on how is it that the PUP mayor was able to sit down and find common ground with the UDP deputy party leader?
Yeah, the matter with the municipal BRAM, to us, that was the least evasive to really cut. The other activities really are intertwined in the entire 10th celebration, especially the opening ceremonies, the 10th day ceremonies. We couldn't at no time see how we could cut any of those events. So the BRAM we thought would be the least evasive event to cut. On the matter of reaching out to the Deputy Prime Minister, I always felt, and I continue to see, that the Belizean people out there, at the end of the day, they want to see a situation like this, where two people, or two individuals, or two organizations with different ideas get together and work out deals for them. At the end of the day, that is the new way, that is the new thinking of the populace out there, that is the new thinking of the electoral landscape. They want to see leadership get together and work out deals for them.
Excellent. Sounds like Trump, work out deals.
Anybody else with questions?
Want to move on to the other thing? It's separate.
Yeah.
Now we can start on that. The answer at one time, sir?
Well,
We could excuse
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to drive.
Stay far from the finance.